Okay, now everything is working fine so far. Now we'll write the model.py file right now. Now what we'll do, okay, so now let's write this model.py. So in the model.py, what we'll do, we'll try to initialize the model LLM. That means this particular LLM will try to initialize, and the knowledge base we have created, this vector db object, will try to load as a retriever object. Okay, because whatever user will ask the question, it will go to the retriever will try to return the response to the LLM as well as the questions, and LLM will try to give you the response. Okay, this particular functionality will try to write in the model.py. So for this, again, we have to import some necessary library. So let me import all of the library one by one. So these are the necessary library, guys, I need. You can see I'm importing Chroma, then OpenAI embedding, chat OpenAI. So we're using the OpenAI model. That's why we are importing chat OpenAI. Then retrieval QA, load QHN, and GDown. Again, we have to add this code, because what will happen, if you are writing this code in the app.py, we'll be importing that functionality in the app.py, and sometimes there is a possibility this will execute. Okay, and if you don't have the .env file, it will throw you error. So in the both places, we'll try to add this particular code, because whatever file you are executing, first of all, it will try to download the env file, and it will use your API key, because here also I'm going to mention the same code, this particular code. Okay, this particular code, and to get this particular code, you need the .env file. That's why we are first of all downloading it. Okay, now we'll try to load all the object one by one. First of all, we are loading the embedding model, then we're loading the vector db, so chroma db, and this particular directory we are giving, the db directory we are giving, it will load that particular database object, because inside that I have all of my vector. Then embedding function is equal to embedding. Then this is my retriever, vector db as retriever. Okay, this retriever we are creating. Now we'll try to initialize the LLM. So here we'll be using GPT-4 model. Okay, you can see. Now we'll try to create the QHN. Okay, QHN, it will take the LLM as well as the chain type is equal to star. Then I'm going to create a function called get response. So in the get response, I'll call the retriever, and this will give you the retrieve output, whatever question user is asking, and this particular output will pass to the QA object, that means the LLM. LLM will try to return you the actual response. Okay, so this is the code. Now we'll try to add this both functionality to the endpoint. Okay, that means in my app.py. Now let's open the app.py. But before that, we have to complete the static as well as the template. Okay, because to launch the this one Flask app, you need this HTML code as well as the CSS. Okay, these are the things you have to mention. So first of all, let's write the HTML code, and this code I have written with the help of this ChatGPT. With the help of ChatGPT, I have generated this HTML code. It's just a basics, you can say a template. Okay, basics user template. You can also create any kinds of template with the help of ChatGPT. Even it is also available over the internet. You can also download. Then I need the style. So this is just a basics color and style I have added in the CSS file. And to operate this, I need a JS file. Again, you don't need to worry about the front end part. There would be separate team for the front end. This is the basics app I have just created. Okay, great. Now let me now if you have to change the header title, you can also change it here. Okay, now let's create the app.py. Now in the app.py, we'll first of all import some necessary library. So here I'm importing operating system.env, then I'm importing the Flask, then Flask cards, and okay, so here we have imported. Now see here from the backend, you can see I have a file called model.py, and here I created a function called get response. So this get response, I'm importing it here because user will give the query, and this query I have to pass where? I have to pass to the get response, and this query will go to the retriever. Retriever will return the retrieve output, and this thing will try to send to the QHN, and QHN will try to take care with the help of LLM. So yes, now we'll try to load the env as well. So let's load the env. Then one thing I want to do, because see, whenever user will initialize the app, this db object would be created. And how this db object will be created? Whenever user is executing this ingest_data.py. But here I'm not going to execute it manually. It should be automated. For this, we'll be executing this command. Wes.system python backend slash app. Sorry, it should not be app.py. It should be ingest_data.py. Ingest_data.py. Sorry. Okay. So this file should be executed. So once this file is executed, that means this db object would be created, and you will have the knowledge base. Okay. Then we'll try to initialize the Flask. So this is my Flask. Then we'll create a default route. So whenever you'll execute the app, you will get a default route, and this default route will execute index.html page. Now here I'm going to create another route called query. So whenever you will send the query, so this query route will execute. Okay, and it will get the data from the user. That means whatever question user will write in the input box, it will get the data, and we'll try to send the data where to the get response function. Okay, you can see first of all I'm checking if not query, it will raise the exception. Otherwise it will send the data to the get response function, and this will give you the response. This response I will show to the UI console. Okay, now let's initialize the app. So I'm running the app localhost port number 800, debug is equal to true. Now let me show you the app how it will look like. First of all, let's delete the DB object. We'll try to create as a new. Now what we'll do, we'll try to open up the terminal. Now let's execute the app python app.py. Now see, first of all it will download that .env file, then it will create the DB object automatically. Now see, application is running. Now if I go back and search for localhost port number 800, so guys, you can see this is the user interface we are getting, but the issue is like, if I go to the code, it should be styles.css. Okay, not style, styles.css. Now let me save. Now if I refresh, now see, this is your app. Now here you can give any kinds of question. Let's say if I give hi and submit. Now see, it's thinking, and hello, how I can assist you today. Now you can ask the query. Let's say if I show you my data, so this is my data all about. So here I will ask, what is the reminder? Now see, it is telling the reminder is to submit the report by Friday. Now if I show you the data, now the same thing I have written in the data. Okay, now you can ask anything regarding your personal productivity, whatever data you are using. So this is going to be an amazing app, guys, because I know that there are so many people, they need this kinds of assistant. Now you can use any kinds of meeting transcript, and you can implement the entire system. Okay, you can replace the data here. So this is the app, guys. Now it is running on my local host, and you can see it has created all the DB object and everything. It is working fine. Now I'll show you how we can deploy these kinds of app over the cloud platform. That means we'll be deploying over the AWS cloud with the help of CI/CD pipeline. So I already recorded one deployment video of my previous project. So there I created a medical chatbot with the same structure. Okay, same let's say technology. I was also using the Flask there. So the deployment strategy I showed you there, the same thing you have to also follow. Only the thing you have to do, you have to upload your project in your GitHub account. Okay, that's it, and you have to follow the same technique as it is. Okay, so instead of recording the deployment video again, I'll add that particular deployment video here. You can follow the same technique and you can deploy this particular project as a CI/CD. Now first of all, let's commit the code in my GitHub. So I'll click here. Now what I can do, I can ignore this DB object because DB object I don't need. So here I'll, in the git ignore, I'll mention I don't want to push the DB. So DB /start. That means just try to ignore everything inside DB. Now see, DB object is not there. Now let's try to commit. So I'll just write updated. Now commit and save the changes. Now see, pushing is done. Now if I get back and if I refresh my GitHub, now see, everything is up to date. Okay. Now, okay, one thing I forget to tell you, this Docker file. So in the Docker file, you can mention this particular code. Okay, so this let's say command will help you to create a Docker image. So first of all, it will create a it will take a Python 3.12 image. It will install some required tools in the Docker server. Then it will create a working directory called /app. Inside that, it will copy all of the source code. Then it will install the requirements. Then it will launch the app.py. Okay, so this is the Docker command you have to use, guys. Now we'll also see like this .github folder. Inside that, you have to create a file called cicd.yaml, and inside that you have to mention some of the command. So in the deployment video, I have mentioned each and everything. I have clarified each and everything. Just try to follow and try to deploy this particular project.